Jim Casbarro, GAFinestHomes Group, and I'm here today to share with you another way you can love where you live. Today we're going to share with you in our Real Estate Knowledge series the difference between a short sale and a foreclosure. Now, you may have heard that these types of properties are typically good deals, and we're going to debunk both of them today. So before we do, I want to share with you that today's video is sponsored by Discovery Inspections. Now, Discovery is our preferred home inspection company, and not only do they have world-class home inspectors and reports, they also have ways that most homeowners can use their expertise outside of a real estate transaction you may have not heard before. So Discovery offers their home inspections to help you identify what things you could be doing maintenance-wise to keep your home in top shape. And I know that you know preventative maintenance is almost always cheaper than fixing a problem that could have been addressed beforehand. And so Discovery Inspections, they're the experts we turn to help our clients and homeowners find out the things that can save them money and potential headaches. So give Lisa or Amber a call and they're going to take excellent care of you. So what is the difference between a foreclosure and a short sale? Now, the first thing that we're going to do to debunk these two real estate terms is first understand at what point and when do these things actually happen. So let's start with the short sale, because a short sale is basically the time that when a homeowner has before the bank actually seizes the home and they become out of the picture. So during the short sale process, the homeowner has the opportunity to remedy with the bank either a delinquent payment or several delinquent payments and get caught up or find a solution to make sure that they don't go into the foreclosure process. Now, the other thing to note too about a short sale and a foreclosure is, let's say that you're the seller and something difficult has happened in your life, and this is going to trigger what we call one of the things that need to prove whether a short sale is going to be valid. And these are usually something that is a distress in your life. So, for example, let's say that a spouse passed away or lost a job, and you're unable to make the payments on your home mortgage moving forward. That would be considered a possible way to apply for a short sale, because you have to prove in a short sale that something happened in your life that has caused you to be unable to make your mortgage payments. So it has to be in some kind of distress in your life. So that's a good example. Maybe you're going through a divorce and that income's not going to be there. Usually spouses passing away or a job loss or even a health issue popped up in your life and now you're unable to work and you can't make your mortgage payments. So the short sale process, think of that process as the time that a seller in which something negative has occurred in their life, they're in distress, and they're unable to make their mortgage payments. And so what you do as a seller is you reach out to the bank and say, hey, listen, so-and-so happened in my life. This is causing me a hardship, which they have to prove. And if you can prove that you have a hardship and that you're in distress, you might be able to initiate that short sale process with a bank. Now, what that basically means is, assuming the seller can prove they have a hardship, the bank is going to short the loan, meaning that they're going to basically take a loss on whatever is left on the loan that the seller owes them. And so they come up with a number that the bank is satisfied at taking a loss at. So there's some kind of short on what they actually owe on the property. And the seller now initiates the process of going through and selling their home. This is a tough spot for the seller to be in. However, it does open up good opportunities for a real estate investor or a real estate agent who may be an expert at doing short sales to really help the homeowner remedy this problem so they don't go into foreclosure. Now, the reason why that is something a seller will undertake, which, by the way, doing a short sale is not an easy process. You basically have no more control over what happens, and you have to pretty much jump through the hoops the bank will make you do. There's typically a lot of paperwork. It can be a little frustrating in negotiating terms when you get an offer, because the bank is going to have to reply back. That can usually be a timely process. So it's not a fun thing to go through. However, as a seller, the short sale will have a lesser detriment on your credit than fully going into foreclosure, which is going to be a permanent mark on your credit for the next 7 years. So it's not easy to remove. When you go through a short sale, you can bounce back a little bit faster. Whereas if you go in a true foreclosure, that's tough. It's hard to recoup the opportunity to get credit in the near future. Banks are going to be very unlikely to loan towards you anytime soon. It's going to take at least a few years to get back on your feet. So foreclosure will ruin your credit. The short sale process, you'll take a bit of a hit. However, it's a lot less severe than going through the foreclosure process. So think of it as the short sale is the time up to a foreclosure that the seller has to fix it. And a lot of times if a short sale, if you have someone that knows what they're doing, and for me, just so y'all know, I'm not a short sale expert. I would pretty much refer you to another real estate agent or investor that really knows how to navigate that process. There's a lot of behind the scene work that needs to happen. The seller has to be cooperative, which is also very tough sometimes when you're in a bad spot financially or going through a hardship. And so that can be something where if you know someone who's going through that process, please let us know because we can get them in front of someone who can help them. And that's going to help our community, which ties back into our goal of really creating an environment where people love where they live. So let's eliminate that if possible. If you see something like that, if you recognize someone's having a hardship, we can kind of nip that in the bud by getting someone who knows what they're doing to help those folks. Now the foreclosure process, that is something where we're going to go in a little bit more detail, but that's pretty much after the fact and the seller is no longer involved. So at that point, the bank has either assumed back ownership of the property or is initiating the process of reselling to the public. Because here's the deal, guys, when a foreclosure happens, the banks, if you're making payments, that's an asset on their balance sheets. As soon as those payments stop, it now becomes a liability. So a lot of banks, they don't want to have liabilities on, their business balance sheets. So they'll pretty much go through a loss and just to quote unquote dump that property and go through the foreclosure process. It is very expensive though for a bank to go through the foreclosure process. I've heard several different figures in the past. Some of them have been upwards of $50-something thousand in legal fees and going through the court systems and kind of making sure that everything's tied up to actually pull through a foreclosure. So more often than not, banks are willing to work with you, take a little bit of a loss, short the loan a bit, and try to help the seller remedy the situation, then actually getting to the point where it's a foreclosure. So I really hope that this has helped shed some light on the difference between a short sale and the difference between a more severe option, which is going through a foreclosure. Stay tuned for more real estate knowledge series. We're going to keep debunking and going through this process and really help you encourage to grow your knowledge base so we can build a community that we all love and enjoy living in. So I hope you're having a great day. Stay tuned for the next video series, and I'll catch you on the next time.